I ended up testing positive for the same mutation as my sister. And at that point, I really didn't know what to do with the information. I just knew at that point my life was going to change in some capacity, or that answer that I had, testing positive for the gene, was going to make my life on a different path. But at that point, I still didn't really understand the ramifications or the percentages cancer risk associated with what it means to test positive for a BRCA1 or BRCA2 mutation. What I did is I took those numbers, I took the information my high-risk oncologist gave me with my options to reduce my risk, which were surgeries, mastectomy, oophorectomy, taking tamoxifen, increased surveillance and screenings, and for me, what I thought the best option was, and for everyone it's different, and I want that point to be clear. For me, I thought that the best decision in my life for me was to have preventative surgeries. I am what is called a previvor, and a previvor is a survivor of a predisposition to cancer. Basically, it's someone who has an exceedingly high risk for cancer but has not yet had the disease. What I had was the nipple-sparing, skin-sparing mastectomy with reconstruction, and I did that with Dr. Rimmer. I would call him up and I would say, Dr. Rimmer, I know it makes sense in my head to do this, but I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it and actually doing the surgery. And every time he would say, I understand, it's tough, just come on in, we'll talk again. I always felt like I was a priority and number one, and I was most important, and almost made me feel like I was his only patient. It was a very nice feeling and very rare. And ultimately, I think it was the combination of his compassion plus his surgical expertise and the fact that I really got the feeling he really cared about me and my outcome. But ultimately, after seeing other consultations, seeing other doctors, and coming back to Dr. Rimmer again, I had my epiphany. This is what I need to do, and this is my doctor. He actually picked up the phone and he called my husband. Who does that? He called my husband to see, hey, do you have any questions, John? Do you have any concerns about your wife having this surgery? And my husband said, okay. Any doctor, first of all, you love him. We know he's an expert. He's compassionate. And he called me up. I mean, really, it's rare to find a doctor like that. How I can relate what it is and what it feels like to have this nipple-sparing, skin-sparing mastectomy with reconstruction. It's your breast, and imagine the tissue is like the inside stuffing of a stuffed animal. Well, you're taking out that stuffing, that potentially fatal stuffing, and you're replacing that potentially fatal stuffing with an implant. So it's basically all you with new stuffing. Dr. Rimmer has a really warm, friendly demeanor, and that coupled with his skill, expertise, compassion, I mean, I didn't want anyone else doing such a serious surgery on me.